Chapter 21:20. And I Yang said, "Do you know that you can't stay in this body for long? Why are you in such a hurry to do evil things? But I know that my previous life was destined. I just want to be a good person and stay pure." The picture below was a picture of a little monk practicing cultivation. These words, which were full of Zen Buddhism, immediately won a lot of praise. In the eyes of the fans, the dirty secrets and the past that Ingzi had exposed only made them feel even more sorry for their idol. No one could choose their birth, but their future path and what kind of person they would be were their own choices. And I Yang personally reposted and wrote this paragraph, which immediately won the support of his fans. No amount of internet trolls could buy the hearts of people. Public opinion was one-sided. And I Yang Appa, we will always support you. Love you, keep it up, you're awesome. Good and evil will be rewarded in the end. I believe that God will not mistreat kind people. Let's be good people with a clear conscience. And I Yang Appa, President Su and Sister Hu did a great job this time. What they did was a slap in the face for that bitch. I didn't expect Ingzi to be such a person. She's such a scumbag. I'm so angry. And I Yang, no matter who you choose to be with, it's your choice. We will always protect you. Little son will always be by your side. After the Weibo War, Ingzi did not make any more statements because there was so much evidence and so many big shots were criticizing her. No matter how much she explained, it seemed so weak and unnecessary. And I Yang's response won a lot of praise, and Huamin's evidence was even more direct. Sister Ingzi, what should we do now? All the staff in the studio were panicking. No, I have to go out and hide. This matter has become like this. I'm afraid that Ni Yang's diehard fans will do something bad to me. Ingzi was someone who had seen a lot in her life, but at this moment she was still afraid. She hurriedly left the studio and drove straight home. She immediately packed her luggage and prepared to go abroad to lie low. But before she could walk out of the neighborhood, she was surrounded by the police at the door. Ms. Lu Minjing, right? I am. We are police officers from the city's sub-bureau. We just received a report that you are extorting money. Of course, words are not proof. We will further collect evidence. However, during this period of time, in order to cooperate with our investigation, you cannot leave the city. I have something urgent to do. I have to go out for a while. It's not like I'm running away. Ingzi's face was pale. Come with us. If you're innocent, I believe the law will give you justice. In this way, Ingzi was invited to the police station for tea and did not leave the city successfully. The next day, the headlines of all the major media outlets were, Ni Yang's ex-manager dug a pit and tried to extort a sky-high price. President Su of Imperial Star Entertainment goes to court. Su Yu finally showed his strong attitude, and the dispute between him and Ingzi also officially surfaced. At this time, no one cared about Ni Yang's relationship or his past. They only cared about this lawsuit and whether Ingzi, who had done all kinds of evil and bullied so many small celebrities, would be severely punished. After the morning meeting, Huamin returned to his office and saw a WeChat message from Su Yu. Dr. Hua, thank you for the final blow yesterday. You won beautifully. President Su, you're too kind. You cooperated well too. Those celebrities reposted it and helped a lot. In this industry, celebrities are still very influential. Thank you for your employees. This time everyone did a good job. That's why we were able to maximize the effect. Chapter 21:21. Don't thank me, we didn't wrongly accuse that bitch. She deserved it. I asked my legal team and they said that after the verdict, without me she won't be able to get out of jail for at least 8 to 10 years because of the huge amount of money she extorted. Plus, Ingzi has other things to do. You know that organizing those models to do sex work is a big crime. Our country is cracking down on prostitution and gangs. She got herself into trouble this time, Su Yu said with a proud smile. Those who are unjust are doomed to destruction. If you do too many bad things, the heavens will punish you. There's nothing strange about it. Sometimes I think about how she treated Ni Yang, and I'm really disappointed in her. Huamin sighed. Dr. Hua, not everyone is as kind as you, or else the world would be at peace a long time ago. I'm not kind either, I have my own agenda. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dealt with so many bitches. Huamin's words were filled with emotions. She had torn apart so many bitches along the way. She was truly tired. From the very beginning, Jiang Linyue, Song Yisher, Zhao Qingya and Jian Tong, to Mo Shui, Wang Shasha and even Yan Ruoshi, women related to Qin Chu Siyu and even Hu Xiqian. Every single one of them saw her as a fierce tiger. Sometimes Huamin didn't want to cause trouble, but she couldn't avoid it. In the end she fought back fiercely, but in the end, it only showed how vicious she was. Sometimes life could be summed up with one word, and that was, haha. Come on, don't be modest with me. You helped me so much this time, so I'll treat you to dinner. But don't get me wrong, it's not just one of us, I'll treat all four of you to dinner, Siyu emphasized. It's fine, what's there to treat? We're all so close. Plus, Yang is my little brother, so it's only right that I do something for him. It's enough that we can work together to deal with Ingzi. It's really not necessary, Huamin refused naturally. You're really not eating? Hey, I'm not eating anymore. Okay, then I'll save money. Siyu deliberately joked. Let's go to your old house for a meal some other day. Just prepare more seafood for me then. No problem. My mom has been talking about you for the past few days. He said that she misses you. Siyu smiled. Then I'll visit Auntie Sue when I'm free these few days. Okay, call me before you come. All right. I'm hanging up then. Take care of your body when you're working. Don't become a workaholic. Your mother after all. Take care of your body, okay? Siyu nagged. Got it, President Sue. Sir. Huamin smiled. Then he hung up. Since the twins complained that their parents always went out to spend time with just the two of them, Qin and Huamin were much quieter this week. After work, the two of them immediately rushed back home. The food prepared by Uncle Li was always so appetizing and healthy. The whole family gathered together in the cold winter to eat hot pot and chat. It could be said that they had a great time. They also gossiped a little. Ningning, are you going back? Huamin overheard Pudding say that Qin Ning had already booked a flight back to the States, so he asked. Yeah, if I don't go back my dad will go crazy. Qin Ning laughed. Ningning, don't go. Stay here for a while, or you can stay for the new year. During the new year your uncle and auntie will come back. You and your uncle will be together too. Then our family will be complete. Huamin was reluctant to leave. Chapter 21-22. How can we do that? There's still a long way to go before Chinese New Year. You don't know that foreigners don't celebrate Chinese New Year, they only celebrate Christmas. So, during Chinese New Year my dad's really busy. If we both come back, GK's headquarters will go crazy unless my brother goes to take over for us, Qin Ning teased Huamin. Huamin felt awkward. What? You don't want to leave your husband, right? Qin Ning continued to tease her sister-in-law. Andy, don't bully my mommy. You know she's an honest person, so you're bullying her. You're shameless, Little Bean protested. Hey little brat, what's wrong with you and your auntie? Sure, but compared to mommy I can let it go for now. Little Bean answered matter-of-factly. Auntie, you're making me sad. Give me back my dollars. Qin Ning reached out her hand. Dollars? My sister and I bought Handsome Sue a Versace belt. Why don't you ask Handsome Sue for it? Or you can just take Handsome Sue's belt off. It's simpler and more violent. Everyone in the family was used to Little Bean's dirty ways. Qin Ning's face immediately turned red. Wow, you're blushing. Are you interested in Handsome Sue? Little Bean continued to interrogate. Little Bean, don't say that to your auntie. You should say that you really want to take Handsome Sue's belt off. Little Bean added. Big brother, you have to control your two dirty kids, Qin Ning scolded. My daughters are different from the rest. Mr. Qin wasn't ashamed. Instead he was proud. Qin Ning, Huamin, honey, you're right. Are the four of you going to heaven? You're bullying an outsider like me. Let me go cry for a while. Qin Ning didn't know if she was really shy, but she blushed and ran upstairs with her hands covering her face. The twins calmly continued to eat. Luckily, Yang Mirong had already gone upstairs to make the bed and Jixin hadn't returned from dinner with his colleagues. Otherwise, Qin Ning would have been so embarrassed. Pudding, how's your stock trading going? Qin Chu asked his daughter. Not bad. Not bad. It seems that the income is also not bad. Qin Chu raised his eyebrows and looked at his eldest daughter with amusement. Daddy Big Sis said it's not bad. That means she made at least $1 million this week. Otherwise she wouldn't say it's not bad, Little Bean analyzed. So godly. Are there any stocks with large fluctuations recently? Qin Chu continued to ask. There is. Which one? Qin Chu was curious. Huamin also listened attentively because Huamin and Qin Chu also had some private investments in the stock market. However, they didn't invest much. After all, they didn't make a fortune by speculating in stocks. Whole corporation. Pudding ate the fish ball calmly. Whole corporation? Oh my god, which whole family? Huamin was also stunned. Mommy, are you dizzy from eating hot pot? Which whole corporation are you talking about? How many huas do we have here? Pudding looked at Huamin with a tired expression. So, it's Hua Xiqian's company? Huamin still couldn't believe it. Pudding nodded. Yeah. Didn't the whole corporation have some negative news recently? A lot of shareholders felt insecure and were afraid that they would lose, so they all sold their stocks at very low prices. I thought it was a good deal, so I hoarded some of them. Aren't you afraid that you'll lose? After all, the whole corporation's stock market has been declining recently. Qin Chu asked his daughter seriously. Chapter 21-23. The stock market has always been risky, so it's normal to be afraid of losing money. But if you don't even have the courage to lose money, how are you going to make money? I don't think any entrepreneur has ever had a smooth start, right? Even grandpa and second grandpa were in debt when they founded GK. You have guts just like my daughter. Qin Chu really wanted to give his eldest daughter a thumbs up. What she said was no less than the words of those successful businessmen. It was like chicken soup for the soul. She posted this on her WeChat friend circle. Who knew how many WeChat merchants would be willing to share it? Pudding, but the whole corporation hasn't been doing very well lately. What if it can't make a comeback and all your investments go down the drain? I think it's very risky, don't you think? Huamin purposely gave his daughter a hard time. Mommy, don't try to scare me. I know what kind of person Hua Xiqian is. He's able to eliminate so many enemies and dominate the whole corporation for so long, so he's not an idiot. A woman like Mo Schweier's little tricks won't make him lose much. I invested in the whole corporation for the long term. 3 days ago, I saw on the financial news that Hua Xiqian received Mr. Boll, the president of the largest energy company in South America. I'm sure Hua Xiqian didn't treat him to a meal just to be polite. I think they're going to collaborate on some projects. Once the news is released, the stock market will definitely recover. I'm not sure how much it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be easy for me to make 3 to 5 million yuan, and it'll be quick too. The whole corporation's stock price has dropped this week and it's been dropping like crazy for a week. No one dares to buy it, so I'm sure it'll bounce back. Otherwise, even someone like Hua Xiqian would cry. Pudding said as she elegantly wiped her mouth with a tissue. Hey, let's not talk about the investment today. I'm going to watch the news. Mommy, Daddy, enjoy your meal. Sis, wait for me. Little Bean followed behind Pudding, trying to suck up to her. The two cute kids acted like adults. They went to the sofa in the living room and turned on the financial news with great interest. Huamin looked at Qin Chu in disbelief. Honey, I suspect that you gave birth to Neza. Qin Chu sighed with a serious expression. Cough, cough, cough. So you're the pagoda-bearing heavenly King Li? Huamin replied. Pudding's analysis of the stock market and the whole corporation's current situation was very accurate. Qin Chu had also studied it. He was also waiting to see if Hua Xiqian had any better moves. 3 days ago he had paid attention to the dinner with Frank. Frank had come to the city because he had set his sights on a mining area. They tried to develop the mine together, but they couldn't reach an agreement with the local government. After all, resources like the mine were directly controlled by the country. Frank wasn't willing to leave empty-handed, so he chose a few well-known entrepreneurs to have a meal with. Qin Chu and Su Yu were also invited, however they didn't go. After all, South America was too far away. It would take a long time to develop a client. It could be done in one meal, but Hua Xiqian still went. Although he kept a low profile, he was still photographed. Qin Chu guessed that he had reached an agreement with Frank. They just hadn't announced it to the public yet. Pudding was only 3 years old, but she liked to watch the financial news. She even knew how to analyze corporate trends. At this moment, Qin Chu was both proud and worried. He was proud that his daughter had such a brain for business at such a young age. She was able to devise strategies and control the situation. He was worried that his daughter was so smart and powerful. What kind of man would be good enough for her in the future? As a father, he was starting to worry for nothing. Honey, what do you think of Pudding's analysis? Right? At the dinner table, Huamin asked her husband seriously. Chapter 21-24. It's very accurate, Qin Chu commented. Honey, I think your daughter is going to become a demon. Huamin was speechless. No, she's not going to become a demon. She's already a demon, Chin Chu added. On the other side, the two kids on the sofa had a conversation. Little Bean, sis, you shouldn't be so high profile. Daddy and Mommy seem to be scared by you. Pudding, it's okay to show off my skills. Otherwise, they'll think I don't know anything. Little Bean, but will they interfere with your business? For example, they'll lend you the money you made from investments or something. Pudding, they won't. Daddy and Mommy don't lack money. Don't think too much. Little Bean, okay then I'm relieved. But sis, I saw some dried beef from the prairie on Taobao today. Tastes pretty good. There's also milk tea. I heard that babies who eat beef have better health and won't get sick. Pudding, so? Little Bean, so sis, can you give me a box? It's almost New Year. I want to start stocking up on dry food. Pudding, I knew you had a favor to ask of me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following me around like a dog. Little Bean, sis, you're actually the person closest to me. Daddy and Mommy will grow old and leave us first. When I get married in the future, my husband might cheat on me. So, you're the person closest to me. I'll love you for the rest of my life. Pudding, what do you want to eat? Put it in your shopping cart. I'll empty it for you later. Little Bean, thanks sis. Love you. Mwah. Pudding, stop it you foodie. Control your weight. Control your weight. Control your weight. Control your weight. Important things must be said 3 times. Little Bean, got it. I'll try to control myself. Huh. After Huamin and Chin Chu went upstairs, they both went about their own business. Mr. Chin was a typical workaholic. After he went back to his bedroom, he would take out his laptop and go through all kinds of documents, reading the news and keeping an eye on HQ. Huamin was rarely relaxed. He put on his headphones and listened to music to relax. Suddenly, he received a WeChat message. Moreover, it was a new group created by Tang Chuan. Huamin opened it and saw Huamin, Suyu, Wei Liao, Xiao Wei, Zhu Lingling, and even his sister-in-law, Qin Ning. Hey, good evening, everyone. Tang Chuan sent a magical voice message. Jiang Xiaowei, Master Tang, what is it? Tang Chuan, sister-in-law, you're too polite. Just call me Chuan. Jiang Xiaowei, Io, you're so humble. You're in a good mood. Looks like you have something good to announce. Tang Chuan, ahem. It's my birthday next week. Wei Liao, so? Are you here to blackmail us? Tang Chuan, do I look like someone who would take advantage of others? Suyu, Master Tang, how are you going to celebrate this year? Are you still going out on a cruise with a harem group like last year? Tang Chuan, don't talk nonsense. What harem group? Am I that kind of person? Wei Liao, you are. Jiang Xiaowei, you are. Suyu, you are. Line up downstairs. Huamin, you are. Zhu Lingling, you are. Tang Chuan, you bunch of crazy people. Qin Ning, what's going on? There are so many people. Qin Ning came out of the shower. As soon as she picked up her phone, she saw countless notifications. She was randomly added to a WeChat group and her sister-in-law was in it. Tang Chuan, Ning, you're here at the right time. It's my birthday next week and I'm having a party. You have to come. Huamin, how dare you call her Ning? Are you two so close now? Chapter 21-25. I don't think we're that close, okay? Qin Ning was speechless. How could anyone call her Ning? It's okay, I'll cook it. Tang Chuan continued to be shameless. I think I can smell someone flirting. Wei Liao joked. Hey you rich guys, uncles, aunties, please don't make fun of me, okay? I want to officially announce that it's my birthday next week. It's going to be a superstar party. I sincerely invite you all to come. Can you give me some face? What day next week? Huamin was very sensitive to time. It'll start at 6 p.m. sharp at the end of next week. Wei Liao, that's a good weekend. Tang Chuan, of course I was afraid you guys would find an excuse not to come. Luckily my birthday is on the weekend. Suyu, I'm going to Harbor City for business next weekend. Tang Chuan, don't even try Lord Su. Even if you're going to the South Sea you have to be there. Lord Su, is this what you call forcing me to do? Tang Chuan, I can force you but I can still force you. Don't try to cheat me. You have to give me a birthday present. Zhu Lingling, you're asking me for a present? Then I'm not going to play with you guys. You're all rich but my family is a civil servant. We can't afford to play with you guys. Let's go. Tang Chuan, if you come you can come empty-handed. I won't be picky. Zhu Lingling, that good? Tang Chuan, of course. After all, I'll need your help in many areas in the future. Huh. Zhu Lingling, I knew you didn't have good intentions. Jiang Xiaowei, can I bring Bao Bao? Tang Chuan, of course of course. But sis-in-law, are you sure you want to bring Yunchu? After all, the twins will be there too. Jiang Xiaowei, wow. The twins are coming too? If that's the case I'll think about it. Huamin, slightly what do you mean? Are you discriminating against my twins? Zhu Lingling, we don't dare to discriminate against twins, but we have to think about our son's physical and mental health. After the last party, Buyin came back and said a lot of golden sentences. I think he learned them from Little Bean. I don't know how dirty they are, but after he said that sentence he was beaten up by Gao Ran. You guys can imagine. The twins are mighty and domineering. Suyu couldn't help but laugh wildly. Huamin, Tang Chuan, alright, let's stop arguing. The date has been decided. Is there any problem? Qin Ning, I have a question. Qin Chu weakly raised his hand to speak, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Tang Chuan, Ning, if you have any problems or difficulties, tell me and I'll help you solve them. Wei Liao, big brother? Young Master Tang, you're so evil. Suyu, he's always so shameless. Tang Chuan, go away, you guys can go now. I want to talk to Ning alone. Qin Ning, I'm sorry I can't go next week. Tang Chuan, why? You're not giving me face? Qin Ning, it's not about face. I booked a ticket back to the States and the headquarters already arranged my schedule. I have to go back to help my dad. So, I'm sorry but I can make up for the birthday present. Qin Ning didn't forget to add. Do I look like someone who cares about birthday presents that much? Do you think I don't want something from you? Tang Chuan was a little displeased. Qin Ning suddenly felt awkward and didn't know how to explain. So, when is the ticket? Tang Chuan continued to ask. 10:30 on the weekend. Qin Ning said weakly. What the? Are you doing this on purpose? On the weekend? What a coincidence. Can't it be a day later? Tang Chuan was speechless. Chapter 21-26. I really didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know it was your birthday this weekend, so I just decided on a whim. Qin Ning explained. Then change it or cancel it. It doesn't matter if you wait a day or two, right? Tang Chuan patiently coaxed Qin Ning. I can't do that. I've already reported my schedule to HQ. I have to go to the company for a board meeting when I get back. It's the end of the year and there's a lot of work to do. Is it more important than my birthday? Tang Chuan didn't feel good about it. Qin Ning, okay, if that's the case I won't give you a hard time. You can do whatever you want. After speaking, Tang Chuan went offline. No one dared to say anything as they watched the two of them chat awkwardly. It was a strange scene. Huamin placed his phone on the bedside table and sighed. What's wrong, honey? Qin Chu saw that his wife was a little upset, so he immediately came over and put his arm around her shoulders. He put down his laptop and pulled himself away from his work. Honey, feel like young Master Tang is going after Ning? Yeah, and Qin Chu raised his hand and rubbed her delicate cheek. Ning didn't give him a chance. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I feel like Ning is interested in Suyu. It's not your imagination. At first, Ning was a little bit interested in Suyu because of the two of them, but later she thought it through. She told you, honey? Huamin looked up curiously. You could say that she had a heart-to-heart talk with him. To be honest, do you think Ning and Suyu are a good match? Qin Chu asked Huamin. Huamin hesitated for 3 seconds and said faintly, if they're a good match they should be. Both of them are independent, outstanding workaholics and have good family backgrounds. Ning grew up in the US and is very fashionable. He's also very competitive. There's no doubt about her charisma, but Huamin paused. Continue. Qin Chu encouraged her. It's just that I don't think Suyu will accept Ning. He's a stubborn guy. You might be a little jealous if I say this, but I think Suyu won't let go of me so easily. Takes time. It's still too early for him to let go. Maybe in a year or two things will get better. But right now I don't think Suyu will agree. Huamin analyzed. Qin Chu nodded in agreement. You're right. I've thought about that too, which is why I'm advising Ning to back off. Su Yu's feelings for you aren't that easy to let go of. Even if he doesn't say it out loud, it's hard for him to get over it. He's as stubborn as I am. If he could easily accept other women, he wouldn't be Su Yu. Ning Ning wouldn't even have a chance. There are so many actresses under Imperial Star and so many socialites in the city, but he doesn't even look at them. More importantly, if he gets together with Ning Ning, he'll have to face us a lot in the future. He'll have to call you his sister-in-law. Do you think that's possible? Huamin shook his head. So, instead of creating opportunities for Su Yu and Ning Ning, why don't we let her and Tang Chuan have a go? Qin Chu suggested. Young Master Tang is an okay person. He's not too bad and I think he's quite capable. He's not as idle as he seems. He's still scheming, but don't you think he's too much of a playboy? Huamin questioned. Chapter 21-27. Huamin and Tang Chuan were familiar with each other, so Huamin was always surrounded by beautiful women. Most women wouldn't be able to stand such a scene. Not to mention a girl like Qin Ning who had a strong personality. I investigated Tang Chuan. Guess what I found? Qin Chu asked with a smile. What? The truth is he used to be a very infatuated person, but he was hurt by a woman and became like this. So what we see now is just the surface. Deep down he should be a very infatuated person. Is that so? I've never heard Su Yu talk about this before. Huamin was surprised. Su Yu wouldn't tell you about this kind of private thing. After all, men don't like to gossip as much as women do. You're right. Honey, hurry up and tell me. I'm interested in Tang Chuan. Huamin leaned into Qin Chu's arms, seemingly very interested in Qin Chu's investigation of Tang Chuan. A few years ago, Tang Chuan had a good reputation in the industry. He met a girl who was a model. The girl wasn't particularly beautiful, but she had a good temperament. Tang Chuan spoiled her a lot and bought her everything. He even took her to many events in a high-profile manner. Even though his family objected, he still insisted. And then? Then that girl became his third aunt. Qin Chu said straightforwardly. Huamin almost choked on his saliva. Ahem. What? Third aunt? Huamin was shocked. That girl was a high-class White Lotus. On the surface she didn't care about fame or fortune, but in reality she was more skillful than anyone else. She found out that Tang Chuan was a junior in the Tang family and didn't have much power or money, so she took the opportunity to seduce Tang Chuan's third uncle. Third uncle? How many years older are they? Huamin was surprised. Yeah, his third uncle is 20 years older than Tang Chuan. What do you think? And then? Huamin continued to be curious. Then that girl successfully became a mistress. She made Tang Chuan's third uncle divorce and abandon his wife and daughter. Tang Chuan's third aunt left with their daughter and settled down in Canada. That girl married into the Tang family and even gave birth to his third uncle's son. What? That's so dramatic. It's even scarier than those TV shows. There are many stories like this. Huamin's Qin Chu's Huamin and Huamin. Yes, he said, Hua-s's Tang's. Yeah, on the night of his third uncle's wedding, Tang Chuan tried to commit suicide by drinking poison. He was rescued in time and had his stomach pumped. After that, his third uncle was kicked out of the family and moved to another city. That girl left as well. So, Tang Chuan became like this after that, living a life of luxury and surrounded by beautiful women? Huamin guessed. Qin Chu nodded. What a sad story. Huamin suddenly lowered his head, feeling pity for Tang Chuan. It turned out that everyone had their own sad story behind them. So from the looks of it, Tang Chuan isn't a playboy. In fact, he's very infatuated. It's just that he was hurt by someone before. If he really likes Ning, I think it's Ning's blessing. But feelings can't be forced, both parties have to like each other. So let's just leave it to fate. We don't have to worry about it. Qin Chu comforted Huamin. Honey, I admire you so much. Huamin snuggled into Qin Chu's arms and whined. Admire me for what? Qin Chu smiled. You know everything, you can see through everything. You can always look at other people's stories calmly. You're so cool. Qin Chu was speechless. Dr. Hua, your husband will be proud if you praise him like that. Qin Chu looked at Huamin lovingly. Then be proud, we have the right to be. Huamin said proudly. So, I can do whatever I want now? Qin Chu said as he reached his hand under Huamin's bra. Chapter 21-28. Are you kidding me? Huamin covered her face in embarrassment. She fell into his trap just like that. It was impossible to guard against it. The kid was already 3 years old, but he still had such strong desires. Was it a good idea? Huamin didn't have time to think about this question until she was lying on the bed with weak legs. Mr. Qin rushed over like a tornado. She didn't even have time to think. Tang Chuan's birthday party was extravagant every year. Not only would there be a lot of upper-class young masters and socialites, but there would also be celebrities. Su Yu and Wei Liao would definitely be there. Huamin would also be there when she was free. When she wasn't, she would prepare a gift for Tang Chuan. However, this year, Tang Chuan placed so much importance on it that she couldn't miss it. So before going to bed, Huamin discussed it with Qin Chu. Honey, let's go to Tang Chuan's birthday party next weekend. Next weekend? Yeah, he told us in the WeChat group today. It's quite formal. Okay, we can go together if we have nothing to do at work. Pudding and Little Bean have always gotten along well with him. We'll go as a family of 4. Yeah, I think he wanted to invite Ning Ning, but Ning Ning booked a return ticket. That's between them. We can't interfere. Qin Chu wouldn't interfere too much with Qin Ning's relationship. He would only give some pertinent advice. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was Saturday night. Qin Ning's flight was at 10 a.m. the next morning. Tang Chuan's birthday party started at 6 p.m. It was God's will. The night before, Qin Ning was busy unpacking her luggage. The twins were reluctant to leave. What? You two are so pitiful. Don't look at me like that. Qin Ning couldn't stand the pitiful looks on her nieces' faces. Auntie, can you not go? I'll miss you. Little Bean was always sweet and tried to persuade her to stay. Auntie, I just made a fortune in the stock market. Don't leave. I'll treat you to a big meal, a hot spring and all kinds of fun, okay? Pudding was also generous. Your aunt is also a tycoon, okay? I'm the youngest director of GK headquarters, but I'm not as outstanding as your daddy, right? But I'm not a parasite. Why would I need you to treat me? Qin Ning said as she packed her luggage. I'm so sad. I don't want to leave you. Little Bean teared up and started using tear gas. Don't be like this. It's not like we won't see each other again. Auntie will come again. Qin Ning patted Little Bean's head to comfort her. Auntie Qin, you're a girl. Don't put too much importance on your career. Actually, I think the most important thing for a girl is to marry a good husband, Pudding advised. I'm still young. I can still work hard for a few more years. I'm not in a hurry to get married. You two shouldn't have any ideas about me, okay? Why don't you two come with me? How about going to America to study? I'll take care of you. Qin Ning teased the twins. No way, we don't want to leave Daddy and Mommy. Little Bean refused immediately. In the end, the twins' reluctance didn't change Qin Ning's mind. After packing her luggage, Qin Ning video called her secretary at GK headquarters. Andy, my flight is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pay attention to the flight time and come pick me up early. Hey, Miss Qin. Do you have any work plans? Qin Ning asked her secretary in perfect English. Chapter 21-29. Miss Qin, when you come back, you need to hold a year-end summary meeting. Then there will be a new product launch for the next quarter. Also, the president wants you to handle some cooperation matters with North American clients. What about my dad? The president went to Dubai to discuss business with some clients in the Middle East. He'll probably be back in 3 days. Okay, I got it. That's all, see you later. After hanging up, Qin Ning picked up her phone and prepared to go downstairs. She wanted to talk to her brother and sister-in-law. After all, she was leaving tomorrow. Unexpectedly, her phone rang with a video call. What? Qin Ning picked up and asked Tang Chuan in a bad mood. What are you doing? Nothing, I just finished packing my luggage. Packing your luggage? What's the rush? Yeah, I already planned my schedule. There's still a lot of things to do. Okay, if you want to leave, I can't stop you. But, since we're new friends, I want to treat you to dinner and send you back to the States. So let's go out for dinner? Now? Qin Ning looked at her watch. It was already 8:30 p.m. It's not that late, it's only 8 p.m. It's not convenient, I have to go to bed early. I have a flight tomorrow. I'm sorry. Qin Ning directly refused. To be honest, she wasn't interested in a dinner arranged by Tang Chuan. You're not going to give me face? What did I do to offend you? No. Then am I that annoying? It's not that annoying, Qin Ning said slowly. Not that annoying. His comment. It's really giving me a headache. Qin Ning. Okay, that's all for now. Tang Chuan hung up. Qin Ning went downstairs to the living room. She sat down next to Huamin and began chatting with her brother and sister-in-law. On the other side, Tang Chuan got up and walked out of a private room in a clubhouse. Young Master Tang, where are you going? You just arrived and you're already leaving. A few rich kids behind him yelled. You guys have fun, I'm going to see a friend. Tang Chuan always had feelings for Qin Ning. She was different from all the other girls he knew. The more Qin Ning avoided him and rejected him, the more he wanted to get closer to her. After going downstairs, Tang Chuan drove his flashy red Ferrari straight to South Hill Manor. Then a certain someone felt that it wasn't good to visit them empty-handed. When he passed by a fruit shop in the middle of the night, he bought 10 fruit baskets in one go. She also bought the twins 5 large durians, 2 boxes of Haagen-Dazs and a black swan cake. Qin Ning, Qin Chu and Huamin were downstairs drinking tea and chatting. She didn't even care when she heard someone ringing the doorbell. Did she think that someone from her family had returned? When the housekeeper opened the door, Tang Chuan panted and said, "Get a few people out. Come with me to get something." Only then did Huamin and Qin Chu see clearly that the person who came was Tang Chuan. What's the situation? Young Master Tang. Huamin stood up and walked over with a confused look on his face. Nothing much. I'm just here to visit your family and see my twin nieces. As Tang Chuan spoke, he ordered the housekeepers to bring the items in. When the items were placed on the floor, Huamin and Qin Chu glanced at them and were dumbfounded. There were 10 premium fruit baskets, 5 large durians, Haagen-Dazs ice cream and a black swan cake. Are you crazy? Qin Ning was also speechless. These are for the twins, and I'm here for another reason. Tang Chuan got straight to the point. What is it? Huamin looked at him curiously. Chapter 21:30. I want to treat Ning Ning to dinner. After all, she's leaving tomorrow. Qin Ning. Young Master Tang, you're in such a good mood. You could have just called her and asked her out. It's too expensive for her to come to our house. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. I did call her and send her a WeChat message, but she doesn't want to go out. What can I do? I was forced to. Tang Chuan looked like he was wronged. At this moment, Qin Chu and Huamin both looked at Qin Ning. Ning Ning, since young Master Tang is so sincere, why don't you go out for dinner? Qin Chu suggested. Big brother. Qin Ning didn't get a chance to speak. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Chu excitedly and cupped his hands. Thank you, big brother. Who's your big brother? Don't be so shameless. Qin Ning rolled her eyes at him. Then let's go, Ning Ning. It's not too late anyway. Don't let young Master Tang come here for nothing. Huamin could tell that Qin Chu wanted to set Qin Ning and Tang Chuan up, so he spoke up for them. I'll go upstairs and change. How can I go out like this? In the end, Qin Ning gave in and ran upstairs to change and put on makeup. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and Huamian gratefully. I'll treat you two to dinner one day. Hee hee. The twins somehow heard him and ran downstairs in their little nightgowns. They couldn't help but tease Tang Chuan a little. Whoa, who came to our house? Little Bean covered her mouth and giggled. Uncle Tang, you're so rich. Why did you come to my house empty-handed? Pudding teased when she saw that Tang Chuan was only wearing a leather jacket and had his car keys and phone in his hand. Who said we came empty-handed? Come look. Tang Chuan pointed. The twins' eyes immediately lit up. Wow, what did I just see? Is that Black Forest cake? And Haagen-Dazs? Little Bean ran down the stairs shamelessly. Pudding couldn't stay calm anymore. Uncle Tang is really generous. It seems like he's determined to pursue our auntie. That's for sure. I have to show my sincerity. What a pity. Pudding shook her head and sighed. What's a pity? Tang Chuan was puzzled. It's a pity that my auntie is going back to America tomorrow. I'm afraid you won't be able to help her then. That's not a problem. It's not a problem as long as they're both on Earth. At most, I'll just go to America to chase after them. Tang Chuan seemed to be mentally prepared. While eating Haagen-Dazs, Little Bean gave him a thumbs up. That's awesome. I support you. Little Bean, you can't be so shameless. Pudding scolded. You can't blame me for being shameless. But it's understandable that I'm shameless sometimes. Little Bean was very happy as she ate. Pudding, you can't say the same thing. I'm absolutely sincere about your auntie. Don't misunderstand me. Of course I'll prove it with my actions. Come on, have some black swan to calm yourself down. Tang Chuan handed the cake to Pudding. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan and finally took the cake. However, her next sentence was, "You have to bring my auntie back before 11 p.m. Otherwise, I won't forgive you." It's already 8:30 p.m. You're only giving me 2.5 hours. That's so cruel. I don't care. You have to bring her back before 11 p.m. My lady, you're much scarier than your parents. Sometimes Pudding was as serious as an adult. Tang Chuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Qin Chu and Huamian couldn't help but laugh. When Qin Ning came downstairs, she was dressed very simply. She wore black jeans and a white round neck sweater. Outside, she wore a thick dark green cashmere coat. Although it was simple, she looked like a socialite. "Big brother, sis-in-law. I'll go out first," Qin Ning said. "Auntie, you have to be smart. Don't let him take advantage of you," Little Bean reminded her. Chapter 21:31. "Okay, I know, you little brat." Qin Ning rubbed Little Bean's head lovingly. "What kind of person do you think I am? Am I that kind of person?" Tang Chuan was obviously not convinced. To his surprise, the twins replied in unison, "You are." Tang Chuan was speechless. "Okay, pretend I didn't say anything." Huh. Although Qin Ning didn't want to, she had no choice but to accept Tang Chuan coming to South Hill Manor to pick her up in person. If she didn't go now, it would be too much. Besides, Qin Ning knew that even though Tang Chuan was sometimes a little outrageous, he wasn't without depth. After all, she was the sister of Qin Chu and Huamin. Even if Tang Chuan had evil intentions, he wouldn't have the guts to do anything to her. After Qin Ning sat in the car, Tang Chuan's heart was filled with excitement. "What do you want to eat?" "Anything. Sorry, we don't have a restaurant called Anything here." Tang Chuan deliberately teased her. "Is it what I want to eat? Are you willing to accompany me?" Qin Ning rolled her eyes and asked deliberately. "Of course, I'm willing to risk my life to accompany you." Tang Chuan said this very manly. "Okay, then accompany me to Chang'an Street Food Street." Chang'an Street Food Street? Did I hear you right? You didn't hear me wrong. Are you sure? Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask again. "I'm sure." Qin Ning nodded. "Hey, whatever you want." Then Tang Chuan stepped on the gas pedal and the two of them went straight to Chang'an Street. Chang'an Street was a very lively night market that was open until midnight, regardless of winter or summer. There were special snack bars and many stalls on both sides of the street. It was commonly known as the food street. When tourists from other places came, they would come here to try the local specialties and even national delicacies. However, Tang Chuan rarely came to places like this because, in his opinion, the stalls on the street were unhygienic and low class. Not only was it unhygienic and tasty, but there were also people on both sides. The environment was also dirty and messy. So when Qin Ning said she was going, he didn't believe her at first and thought he had heard wrong. When they arrived at their destination, Tang Chuan parked the car and the two of them got out. Qin Ning had been here once before with the twins and the bodyguard because Little Bean and Pudding liked to eat it. However, Huamin didn't allow them to come here to protect their stomachs, so they could only secretly beg Qin Ning to come. Little Bean liked to eat donkey rolls and lamb rujiamo. Pudding likes potato flour and baked gluten. The last time Qin Ning came here, she also had a great time. She wanted to come here again, so when Tang Chuan asked her what she wanted to eat, she immediately thought of this. "What do you want to eat?" "I'll go buy it." Tang Chuan showed his gentlemanly side. "Fried stinky tofu." Qin Ning didn't hold back. "What?" Tang Chuan repeated. "Fried stinky tofu." Qin Ning answered confidently. "Hey girl, you have a strong taste." Tang Chuan blushed with shame. Then he turned around and walked towards the stall selling stinky tofu. There were quite a lot of people there. Tang Chuan didn't like to party, so he took out 100 yuan and threw it into the hands of the woman selling stinky tofu. "Give me one. Keep the change. Hurry up, I don't want to wait in line." As soon as Tang Chuan finished speaking, the people in line looked at him as if he was a monster. It was obvious that he was stupid and had a lot of money. What a stupid son of a landlord. 800 yuan to buy a box of stinky tofu that cost 5 yuan. How stupid. However, the woman was very helpful. She quickly poured a bowl of stinky tofu for Tang Chuan. When Tang Chuan held the stinky tofu, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Damn, this stinks." I think it's soaked in feces. His words angered everyone and they all looked at him with murderous gazes. The woman retorted in her local dialect, "Young man, don't talk nonsense. This is healthy and safe. Here, madam, eat it while it's hot." Tang Chuan turned his head and held the stinky tofu in front of Qin Ning with a look of disgust. "You eat first," Qin Ning ordered domineeringly. "What?" Tang Chuan felt like the sky was falling. Chapter 2132. Take a bite and taste it for me. I'll decide if I want to eat it or not. So, you haven't eaten this damn thing before? Tang Chuan felt like he was about to collapse. Qin Ning nodded. Can I not eat it? Tang Chuan had indeed never eaten it before, but the smell was as disgusting as feces. Sure, then let's go home and find our mothers. Qin Ning deliberately turned around to leave. Hey, don't do that, we can talk about it. Tang Chuan excitedly stopped Qin Ning. So, do you want to eat it or not? Tang Chuan lowered his head and remained silent for 5 seconds. Finally, he looked like he was ready to die. Yes, okay, so hurry up and eat it while it's hot. Tang Chuan held back his tears and closed his eyes. Finally, he opened his mouth wide and ate a piece of stinky tofu in one bite. Rather than saying he ate, it was more like he swallowed. While Tang Chuan was eating, Qin Ning urged him, "Hurry up and eat. Take big bites. More." Another one. Under Qin Ning's urging, Tang Chuan ate 3 pieces of stinky tofu in one go. Then Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning with tears in his eyes. "Madam, is this enough?" "I've eaten 3. Yes, is it good?" Qin Ning asked excitedly. "Yes, it's good, I have one." Tang Chuan handed the stinky tofu to Qin Ning like a landmine. Who knew that Qin Ning would say, "Since you like it so much, you can eat it all." "I'm not eating it, I'll go eat something else." Then Qin Ning turned around, leaving Tang Chuan alone in the wind with the stinky tofu in his hands. At a time like this, Tang Chuan was still in the mood to post on his WeChat moments. He took out his phone and took a picture of the stinky tofu and posted it on his WeChat moments. He wrote, "Motherfucker, tell me who invented this damn thing. I promise I won't beat him to death." Tang Chuan, have you eaten it? Is it good? Young Master Tang, you're on Chang'an Street? I'm nearby too. Young Master Tang, are you with a girl? You didn't even call us when you went to the streets of Chang'an, humph. Lord Su's comment was the best. He said, "Tang Chuan, you're not allowed to come to my house for the next week. Stay away from me. Stinks." Lord Su was full of disdain. Looking at these silly comments, Tang Chuan wanted to cry but had no tears. Qin Ning, on the other hand, had originally planned to prank Tang Chuan, but she realized that she had indeed gone too far. Because Tang Chuan kept vomiting. It seemed that he really couldn't stand the smell. In the end, in order to make up for his trauma, Qin Ning found a barbecue restaurant. He sat down with Tang Chuan, ordered some skewers and drank some beer. "My joke just now was a bit too much. I apologize, and I'll treat you to skewers and beer." "Beer? That's fine. How's your alcohol tolerance?" Tang Chuan asked with a smile. "Normal," Qin Ning replied. "How much is it usually?" Tang Chuan was curious. Qin Ning raised her index finger. "Only 1 bottle? Then let's drink slowly." Drinking beer and eating skewers was one of the hobbies of Northerners. It didn't matter if it was winter or summer. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning sat across from each other. As they ate skewers, they had already forgotten about the previous unpleasantness. "I say, are you really going to leave tomorrow?" "Yeah. What if, and I'm saying what if the plane is delayed? What if it can't take off? Will you still leave?" Tang Chuan asked. "If it's because of the weather and there's nothing I can do, then I'll just have to wait." Qin Ning replied quietly. "But what? You're not thinking about blowing up the plane, are you?" Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan mysteriously and asked. Chapter 2133. I'm not that good. Tang Chuan was speechless. The two of them chatted and laughed as they each drank a bottle of beer. However, they didn't feel drunk at all. "Boss, 2 more bottles." Just like that, they drank 2 bottles at a time until they each drank 7. Tang Chuan was slightly tipsy. Qin Ning, on the other hand, was calm and collected as she continued to eat her tofu rolls. "Hey madam, did you really say 1 bottle? Doesn't look like it." Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask. "I didn't say that it's a bottle's worth." "Then, what do you mean by this?" Tang Chuan raised his index finger and imitated Qin Ning's action. I said keep drinking. Tang Chuan almost fell off his chair when he heard this. The two of them were joking around and the atmosphere was harmonious. Suddenly, a tall and slim woman walked over. Chuan, what a coincidence. Are you eating with your friends? Her voice was extremely gentle and her smile was sweet. The moment Tang Chuan looked up, his entire expression changed. Why are you here? His reaction seemed to be very strong. Qin Ning also looked up curiously at the woman in front of her. I didn't come with my friends. I didn't think I'd run into you on Chang'an Street. Is this your friend? The woman smiled like a flower and her movements were very elegant. Yeah, this is my girlfriend. Tang Chuan deliberately emphasized the word girlfriend. The woman didn't seem surprised. She smiled and said, you changed girlfriends again? Seems like you're still as playful as before. When will you grow up? Don't make your parents worry. Auntie, you don't have to worry about that. Tang Chuan said in a strange tone. When Qin Ning heard him call her auntie, she almost choked on her meat skewer. This woman was obviously very young. She looked like she wasn't even 30 years old. Tang Chuan actually called her auntie. That was unbelievable. Ning Ning, come, let me introduce you. This is my auntie. My biological auntie. She's my uncle's mistress. Oh no, let me think. She's now his wife. After all, she's the mistress and successfully replaced my auntie. My uncle is almost 50 years old. That's how it is. Tang Chuan didn't give the woman any face. In front of Qin Ning's face, he insulted this woman. After Qin Ning heard this, she still couldn't believe it and couldn't believe it. The woman's auntie, Qin Ning's auntie's auntie. Chuan, she said, auntie's auntie, auntie, Tang auntie, you must be joking. How would I dare to blame you? You're an elder. Plus, we're both unmarried. You're not related to me. You can't be so harsh on me. As the saying goes, every man for himself. Auntie, you've always been decisive and resolute. I, Tang Chuan, admire you from the bottom of my heart. They say that only ruthless people can achieve great things. I'm impressed, Tang Chuan said to the woman with his fists clasped together. The woman's face also turned pale. Should we go now? Her best friend behind her urged. Then we won't disturb your meal. If you have time, go visit your Uncle Qin. He hasn't been very well lately. Plus, he loved you the most when you were young. Don't hate him for what happened in the past. The woman said worriedly. Of course. My Uncle Qin will always be my Uncle Qin. He can't be compared to some bitches. After all, you can't write two Tangs with one stroke. Tang Chuan's words were still very firm, making the woman lose face. Chapter 2134. After hearing what Tang Chuan said, the woman didn't say anything. She nodded awkwardly and turned to leave. After she left, the atmosphere changed. Tang Chuan didn't say a word and downed 3 glasses of wine in a row. Qin Ning felt like there was a story behind this, but since she wasn't that close to Tang Chuan, she couldn't ask too much. So he could only drink with her in silence. In the end, Tang Chuan looked down at the time. He laughed. Oh, it's almost time. I have to send you back early or else Pudding will kill me. You're a man, why are you afraid of a child? Qin Ning laughed. Don't joke around, Pudding isn't even a child. I think she might have traveled through time or been reborn. She doesn't have the IQ of a 3-year-old. Even adults can't beat her. They'll be tortured to death by her in minutes. You've read too many novels. Travel through time and be reborn. Only you can think of something so melodramatic. Qin Ning laughed. Since both of them had drunk, Tang Chuan called a car. The family chauffeur drove over in a black Bentley. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning sat in the back seat and walked towards South Hill Manor. After the woman finished talking to Tang Chuan's aura became very low. In the back seat, Qin Ning tilted her head and asked, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, this little bit of wine is nothing." "I'm not talking about the wine, I'm talking about your mood." Qin Ning corrected him. "Mood? Very good. It's my honor to be able to invite Beauty Qin out for dinner before she comes back." Tang Chuan laughed. "Don't joke around, who would believe that?" Qin Ning laughed. They didn't talk much on the way to South Hill Manor, but when they arrived, the car stopped at the entrance. Tang Chuan walked Qin Ning to the innermost door like a gentleman. The two of them chatted as they walked. I'm sorry, I booked the plane ticket in advance. Otherwise, I would have stayed to attend your birthday party." Qin Ning felt a little apologetic. After this night, she realized that Tang Chuan wasn't as annoying as she thought. He wasn't the kind of person who would pester her. In fact, he had a little personality. So, are you going to compensate me? Do you want to give me a birthday present in advance? Tang Chuan teased her deliberately. How about I give you a WeChat red packet? After speaking, Qin Ning took out her phone and transferred 8,888 yuan to Tang Chuan. It's not much, but it's a lucky number. Happy birthday in advance. Qin Ning smiled. Unexpectedly, Tang Chuan directly rejected it. Are you complaining that it's too little? Qin Ning deliberately provoked him. That's right. You think it's too little. Why don't you give me all the balance in your bank account? Of course in your dreams. Qin Ning rolled her eyes at him. As for the red packet, I won't accept it. But if you can't leave tomorrow for any special reason, remember to come to my party. Why does that sound so weird? Qin Ning was curious. It's nothing. Go to bed early. It's cold outside, go inside. Tang Chuan smiled and waved his hand. Qin Ning turned around and said goodbye to him. Okay, then be careful when you go back. Go to bed early. When Qin Ning came back, she was afraid that there would be people in the living room. That would be awkward. If her brother and sister-in-law asked her about her relationship with Tang Chuan, she wouldn't be able to explain it clearly. Fortunately, when she came back, her family was already asleep. She tiptoed to her room. Suddenly, a faint voice came from behind her. Auntie, you're back. Chapter 2135. Fuck, you scared me, Pudding. Qin Ning turned around, still in shock. It's exactly 11:25 a.m. I didn't go over the time. Looks like Uncle Tang is a reliable person, at least he's punctual. Pudding looked at the time on her phone. You're serious? Qin Ning thought Pudding was joking, but she didn't expect her to be so serious. Of course I'm serious. Although I'm just a kid, I still have to keep my promise. Okay, I'm back, so don't worry. Go to sleep, it's already so late. Hey, you should sleep early too. You have a flight to catch tomorrow. Pudding turned around and walked back to her room. After Qin Ning took a shower, she saw Tang Chuan's WeChat message as soon as she laid down on her bed. Thank you for having dinner with me tonight. Other than the stinky tofu, everything else was great. Qin Ning burst out laughing after reading the message. Seemed like this guy was still holding a grudge against the stinky tofu. I'll treat you to durian next time. Qin Ning purposely replied. Oh my god, please forgive me. Go to sleep early, good night. Tang Chuan knew that it was getting late and that Qin Ning needed to go to bed. After Qin Ning said this, she put her phone next to her pillow, closed her eyes and fell asleep. However, Tang Chuan didn't go to sleep after he said this. After he got drunk, he drove his Ferrari through the night. It was as if he was looking for the lost time in the Fast and Furious. At 1:50 a.m. he parked his car in front of Su Yu's mansion. Then he started to ring the doorbell like crazy. Su Yu got up in a daze and walked downstairs. I opened the door. If I don't kill you, I'll be wasting my breath. Lord Su wanted to kill someone. The person who didn't sleep in the middle of the night was crazy enough to ring his doorbell. The moment he opened the door, Su Yu raised his hand and punched him. Luckily, Tang Chuan dodged in time. What are you doing? The Lord Su is so angry. Tang Chuan was amused. Why don't you fucking try and see how you'll feel if someone keeps ringing your doorbell at 2 in the morning? Su Yu was still not fully awake. It was still in a state of dissociation. Am I not too bored? I sent you a WeChat message but you didn't reply. You didn't pick up my calls either, so I had no choice but to come and find you. Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? My phone is always on silent at night. Su Yu scratched his head, opened the fridge and took out a can of Coke to drink in a daze. I can't sleep. If you can't sleep, you can go to the red light district. Isn't that your favorite? Su Yu glared at him and said faintly, you can play 2P, 3P and 3P. Lord Su, you're so dirty now. You even know about. Tang Chuan pointed at Su Yu and smiled maliciously. One is marked by the company one keeps. I'm such an innocent person, so it's inevitable that I'll be influenced by you after spending so much time with you. Why don't you just say that's your true nature, huh? Su Yu finally woke up. He wore a white shirt and leaned lazily on the sofa, looking at Tang Chuan. But Lord Tang, since you're not sleeping in the middle of the night, you're probably looking for girls, right? It's not a good idea to come to my house, right? I don't want to look for girls. I'm not interested in girls recently. Don't fucking play with me. I wonder which bastard was flirting with Chinchu in the WeChat group last night. Suyu was amused. Right. Speaking of Ning Ning, I have to ask you seriously, are you really not interested in her at all? Tang Chuan looked at Suyu seriously. Hey. Why are you suddenly talking about me? Suyu was confused. Chapter 2136. Because I heard that a lot of people wanted to set you up with Qin Ning. We're brothers and I don't want to be loved by others. I had to find out more about it, got it? Suyu looked at him with disdain. A lot of people? What do you mean by a lot of people? It's just the twins' prank. If you believe the words of children, it means your IQ isn't very high, okay? So you're not interested in Qin Ning at all? Tang Chuan asked again. Don't fucking talk nonsense. I'm not interested in her at all. Let's not talk about the fact that she's still a little girl. Just based on the fact that she's Qin Chu's sister, do you think we're suitable for each other? You want me to call Huamin my sister-in-law? You might as well kill me. Suyu continued to take a sip of his cola. How perfect. If you say you're not interested, then I'll go after her. I'm willing to call Huamin my sister-in-law, hee. Tang Chuan smiled seductively. Look at how useless you are, don't say that we're buddies anymore. Suyu looked like he was exasperated. At this time Tang Chuan slowly stopped smiling. He suddenly changed the topic and said, Lord Su, today I saw Jining. After hearing this, Suyu was slightly surprised. Why did you see her? Who knows? She probably came back to visit her family. After all, a lot of her friends and relatives are here. Where's your third uncle? Is he with her? Oh. Where did you see her? On Chang'an Street. I bumped into her when I finished eating with Qin Ning. Did she talk to you? Suyu looked at Tang Chuan carefully and asked. Tang Chuan lowered his head and said slowly, Yeah, I did. She pretended to be an elder in front of me. She kept saying that your third uncle's health wasn't good, that she would visit him when she was free, and that he shouldn't blame me. You know how I feel every time I mention her, let alone when I see her. If Qin Ning wasn't here, I think I would have lost control. She's a person from the past and she's just a whore. Why bother? Suyu comforted her. As Tang Chuan's buddies, Wei Liao and Suyu knew how big of a blow this incident was to Tang Chuan. Back then when Tang Chuan and Jining were together, he was as innocent as a silly boy. Even if the woman he loved wanted the moon, he would not pluck the stars. He would carefully coax and support her. He took her with him and introduced her to all his friends and brothers. Even the Tang family's strong opposition could not shake Tang Chuan's determination. He had been fantasizing about renting an island in the Maldives to hold a wedding. Unfortunately, in the end, fate played a trick on him. That woman directly became his third aunt. From then on, there was no future. So, Suyu and Wei Liao only had one word for Jining, whore. A heartless whore. Lord Su, I understand what you're saying. I know it's all in the past and it's time to let it go. But when I saw her like that, I still felt extremely heartbroken. I don't know if this woman's heart is made of stone. Does she really not feel that what she did was wrong? She even pretended to be an elder in front of me. Did she really think she was born to be my third aunt? Motherfucker, she slept with my third uncle after sleeping with me. She's the only one in the world who would do something so disgusting. Actually, you should be glad that she slept with your third uncle and not your dad. Otherwise, you'd be even more devastated. Suyu said faintly. Fuck, Lord Su, are you trying to comfort me? Tang Chuan did not know whether to laugh or cry. I'm telling the truth. Think about it yourself. Don't you think it makes sense? My old master would not like someone like her. My old master is very smart. Only a fat guy like my third uncle would be fooled by her appearance. Tang Chuan said disdainfully. Okay, let's not talk about her. It's your birthday tomorrow. Have you thought about how to have fun? Suyu changed the topic. He did not want to continue talking about that heart-wrenching woman with Tang Chuan. Chapter 2137. Tomorrow. Yeah, I've made up my mind. You're not going out to sea this time? Not on a cruise? Suyu asked with a smile. Tang Chuan shook his head. It's not a cruise ship. If you want to talk about a cruise ship, no one can give you the one on the twins' third birthday. It's a huge, luxurious cruise ship. Let's not talk about that. Suyu felt awkward. Now that he thought about it, he was glad that he didn't propose to Qin Chu. Otherwise, what would he do if Qin Chu came back when he proposed? Or if Qin Chu came back after he proposed? Not only would he lose face, but he would also drag Huamin down with him. Huamin would be in a difficult position. Tomorrow's simple. We'll book the whole hotel and party. That's it? No surprise. There is a surprise. I'm going to kiss Qin Ning. Fuck. Tiu was shocked. Don't look at me like that. I, Mr. Tang, always do what I say. Are you not confident in me picking up girls? It's not that I'm not confident. The problem is, isn't she flying back to the States at 10 a.m. tomorrow? Suyu was confused. The problem is that she can't fly out. So you did something to it? Suyu suddenly realized what was going on. Yeah, you can say that. But it depends on how my men do it. Hehe. Tang Chuan was very excited about tomorrow's event. He seemed to have forgotten about the pain that Jining had caused him. Just like that, Tang Chuan stayed at Suyu's house for the night. 9:30 a.m. the next day, Qin Chu and Huamin took the twins to the airport to send Qin Ning off. Uncle Tang doesn't know how to do things. He wants to court my auntie and he didn't even come to send her off? People are all so realistic. After all, auntie is coming back to China and Uncle Tang is thousands of miles away from her. Of course he's close to her. How could he have the time to see her off? Pudding purposely said sourly. You two don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and get in. Huamin had been trying to persuade the two little guys to restrain themselves. They shouldn't act like adults and meddle in the affairs of their elders. Qin Ning was actually fine. She was very calm. She had come in a hurry this time. If the twins hadn't been kidnapped, she wouldn't have come to see City so quickly. Now that he had been free for so long, it was reasonable for him to go back to work. Brother, sister-in-law, you guys should go back. I'm about to board the plane. Okay, be careful, Qin Chu said. Tell us you're safe when you get off the plane. We'll miss you, Huamin said as he held onto Qin Ning's hand. Okay, don't worry. I'll be fine. I'm a grown-up now. Plus, didn't my brother assign me 2 bodyguards? Qin Ning smiled. Qin Chu assigned bodyguards to Qin Ning just in case. After all, Chinese people were a minority in the United States. As the youngest member of GK's board of directors, Qin Chu didn't want anything to happen to Qin Ning. Miss Qin, it's almost time. The bodyguard behind her urged her in English. Qin Ning nodded. Then she squatted down and hugged the twins. She kissed them on the left and right. Pudding, Little Bean, remember to think of Auntie. We will. Okay, remember to call Auntie and send her a video call. Then when you're not busy anymore, you guys can go to the States. I'll take you guys to have fun. Qin Ning tempted them. Forget about going to the States. Although it's a lot more fun, we don't have many friends. You should come back to China. We're more familiar with each other here. You guys listen to me in my territory. Pudding emphasized. Chapter 2138. Hey, you little brat. I'll go back and talk to your grandpa and see if I can spend Chinese New Year with you guys. If that's the case, that would be perfect. Little Bean clapped her hands. Finally, under the escort of 2 bodyguards, Qin Ning reluctantly entered the security checkpoint. After watching Qin Ning leave, Qin Chu and Huamin drove away. When Qin Ning got on the plane, everything went smoothly. Suddenly, she heard an announcement on the plane. Dear passengers, we are very sorry to inform you that flight number US 3579 is unable to fly due to weather conditions. Please get off the plane first and wait for further notice. Thank you. What's going on? Qin Ning was anxious. I heard that it's snowing heavily and it's affecting the flight. What the hell? It's snowing heavily? Qin Ning was dumbfounded. When all the passengers were chased off the plane, they were dumbfounded by the heavy snow outside. It was fine when they entered the airport, but now it was snowing heavily. What was going on? Although it wasn't strange for snow to fall in the north during winter, the timing was too strange. Qin Ning didn't give up and waited at the airport for 2 hours. Not only did the snow not stop, it got heavier and heavier. In the end, the flight was forced to stop and all the passengers had to go back the way they came. Qin Ning was about to call Qin Chu to tell him about this when she saw Tang Chuan drive over in a black Mercedes-Benz. Come get in. I'll drive you. Why are you here? Qin Ning frowned. I saw on the news that all the flights were cancelled because of the snow, so I thought you might still be at the airport. Hearing Tang Chuan's words, Qin Ning's heart warmed slightly. Thank you. Then she quietly got into the car with her bodyguards. At this time, South Hill Manor was empty. Yang Meirong was playing mahjong with a few old friends. Jixin was at the company, and Huamin and Qin Chu were shopping for new clothes with their daughter in preparation for Tang Chuan's birthday party. Therefore, when Qin Ning returned home, the house was very quiet. Tang Chuan helped her take everything down. After settling everything down, he looked at Qin Ning and asked, "So, are you going to my birthday party tonight?" You can refuse, it really doesn't matter. After all, I'm not someone who likes to force people against their will. Mr. Tang's tactic of retreating in order to advance made Qin Ning feel like she had been wronged. If she didn't go, she would feel embarrassed. "Well, since I didn't manage to leave, I'll be there on time tonight." "Perfect. Let's go. I'll take you to pick out your dress and shoes." Tang Chuan was overjoyed. "No, I'll go by myself. I'm not used to being accompanied by a man. It's weird. Plus, you must have a lot of things to do today." "I'll see you tonight." Qin Ning declined again. Tang Chuan nodded. "All right, then I'll see you tonight. Remember, I'll definitely ask you for a birthday present tonight." Tang Chuan smirked and turned around. On the way back, Tang Chuan put on his Bluetooth headset as he drove. "Hey bro, the artificial snow was beautifully done today. I'm very happy with it." Tang Chuan was very proud of himself. "Fuck, don't mention it. Mr. Tang, I really did everything for you this time. The Weather Bureau called my dad and he's furious. He's looking for me with a knife. I have to go into hiding." The super rich kid on the other end of the phone also looked troubled. Chapter 2139. It's okay. Your old man loves you so much that he won't do anything to you. I'll remember this. Tang Chuan said happily and hung up the phone. If someone found out that the plane couldn't take off because of the artificial snow, they would definitely kill Qin Ning. He wondered if Qin Ning would chop Tang Chuan into pieces. But that wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing was that Qin Ning was able to attend tonight's birthday party. Wei Liao heard about this on WeChat and laughed. "Young Master Tang, if you don't want Qin Ning to leave, then you should have bribed the security and told them that she had contraband in her bag. You could have just let her stay at the airport. Why did you have to go through so much trouble to make artificial snow? It's so expensive. Do you think Qin Ning is stupid? If someone found out that she had contraband, I wouldn't be able to handle it. They would definitely suspect me. I had to do it without leaving any traces." Tang Chuan explained. "Okay, when it comes to picking up girls, young Master Tang is the only one I admire." Wei Liao thought back to the time when he was chasing Xiao Wei. Now that Tang Chuan was chasing Qin Ning, he had to make artificial snow. It was too big a scene for him to stay in the limelight. Imperial Star Headquarters, Su Yu finished his morning meeting and walked to his office with a folder in his hand. At the door, he saw Jian Tong in a dark purple suit. "President Su, yeah, what's up?" Su Yu said with a straight face. "Yeah, I want to talk to you. Come in and talk." Su Yu pushed open the door and walked in expressionlessly. His secretary immediately made 2 cups of coffee and brought them in. Jian Tong sat in the chair across from Su Yu and smiled sweetly. "President Su, it's young Master Tang's birthday today, right?" "Yeah. There's a party tonight, right?" Jian Tong and Tang Chuan were quite familiar with each other, so she knew that Tang Chuan's birthday was celebrated in a high-profile manner every year. "Yeah," Su Yu nodded as he opened his laptop. He didn't pay attention to what Jian Tong said. "Do you have a date?" "No." "If you don't mind, I'll go with you." Jian Tong volunteered. Hearing this, Su Yu's typing hand paused slightly. His first reaction was that if the twins saw him bringing Jian Tong out, they would definitely be unhappy. Why bother? Therefore he directly refused. There's no need. Young Master Tang is not an outsider. He's been my buddy for so many years. I don't have to deliberately pretend or create hype at his place. I can go by myself, but I want to go too." Jian Tong began to pout. Ziyu was in a difficult position. She had already said so. How could he still have the nerve to not let her go? Just as he was worrying about how to politely reject Jian Tong, his phone rang. "Wait, let me take this call," Su Yu said as he picked up his phone. "Okay. I will. Good girl. See you tonight." Su Yu's tone was gentle when he spoke to Pudding and Little Bean. Other than Huamin, no one else had this privilege. Although Jian Tong knew that Huamian was a child, she was still very jealous. "Are Pudding and Little Bean going too?" she asked carefully. "Yeah, their family of 4 will be there." When Su Yu said this, he felt a little disappointed. "President Su, then Before Jian Tong could finish, Su Yu interrupted her. "Jian Tong, you can leave now. I still have work to do. The sooner I finish, the sooner I can help young Master Tang. Oh, okay. I'll leave you to it then. Jian Tong came in high spirits but left in a daze. It was very simple. She felt that Su Yu was starting to distance himself from her. He didn't even want to create hype with her anymore. She blamed all of this on the twins. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. In a high-end shopping mall, a family of 4 was drinking coffee and eating dessert after shopping. Daddy, what should we get Uncle Tang for his birthday? Pudding tilted her head and thought hard. Chapter 2140. What do you think? Mr. Qin held his coffee cup and looked at his daughter lovingly. I think we should give him something special. After all, Uncle Tang's family is super rich. He won't lack luxury brands, right? You have a point. Qin Chu nodded. So what should we give him? Huamin didn't know what to do. Picking out birthday gifts for Su Yu, Tang Chuan and Wei Liao was the most annoying thing. After all, they weren't like Xiaowei and Lingling who knew what they liked and were happy for a long time. They weren't like her husband, Mr. Qin, and her brother Zhixin, who didn't care if she didn't give them a gift. I have an idea, do you guys want to hear it? Little Bean asked in her baby voice. Huamin found it funny that Little Bean still had cream on the corner of her mouth. He picked up a tissue and wiped it off for her. Baby, go ahead. Huamin patted Little Bean's head lovingly. I think the first step of giving a gift is to cater to his tastes. Little Bean raised her little fist and slowly said confidently. Pudding rolled her eyes at her. Isn't that obvious? Get to the point. The point is, since Uncle Tang likes girls so much, we should give him girls. Little Bean said happily. Qin Chu, Huamin, Pudding, so where are the girls? Little Bean, how about a blow-up doll? Xixin's sister's face and Bing Bing's body. Uncle Tang will definitely be happy. Little Bean, come here. Let's talk. When did you know about blow-up dolls? Huamin, as a mother, was embarrassed and didn't feel good. Mommy, don't be so surprised. Isn't this something that everyone knows? Little Bean was speechless. A blow-up doll won't work. It's too big and cheap. Uncle Tang might not like it. Plus, there are so many girls in real life. Why would he use a blow-up doll? What a joke. Pudding disagreed with Little Bean's opinion. Qin Chu rubbed his forehead. He suddenly felt that the topic the children were discussing was too profound. He was so impressed that he didn't know how to interrupt. Why don't we sing a song together? Pudding suggested. That's good. Saving money is the way to go. Little Bean raised her hand in agreement. Is this really okay? Isn't it a little too obvious? You both remember to buy a belt for Su Yu when you go to America. However, it's Tang Chuan's birthday and the two of you didn't pay a single cent and only sang a song. Is that really okay? Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mommy, we don't sing that easily. With our current net worth, we've turned down countless children's product endorsements. Our appearance fees are worth at least tens of millions. We can sing for Uncle Tang, and that's something that can't be bought with money. He should be happy, Pudding said proudly. Hey, you have a point. Huamin didn't want to argue with Pudding anymore. She realized that Pudding's eloquence was terrifying. Sometimes she and Qin Chu were rendered speechless. At 6 o'clock that night, Qin Chu drove his white Maybach to the entrance of the hotel with his wife and twins. The gossipy reporters surrounded them and began to take photos and interview them. It was rare for Mr. Qin to be in such a good mood. He and Huamin each held their daughter's hands and walked inside discreetly. Everyone were live streaming the birthday banquet of Mr. Tang, the richest man of the century. Mr. Qin Chu, the president of GK Corporation, and his wife Huamin are present. They're accompanied by their twins who rarely show their faces. The host said excitedly. As soon as the family of 4 walked in, Pudding suddenly turned her head and saw a familiar figure. Hey, that person looks like Auntie. Pudding frowned slightly. Chapter 2141. If Pudding didn't mention it, no one would have noticed. Hearing her shout, Qin Chu and Huamin immediately turned their heads to look. Sure enough, Qin Ning was wearing a short black evening gown, red high heels and light makeup. She was dressed very delicately, but she still looked like a queen, cold and beautiful. That really looks like Ning Ning, Huamin said. At this time, Qin Ning also saw everyone. She immediately walked over with a luxury brand handbag in her hand. Bro, sis-in-law. It's Hee good evening. Auntie, shouldn't you be on the plane at this time? Pudding asked curiously. Didn't you guys watch the news? Because of the heavy snow, the flight was cancelled. And it was changed to the day after tomorrow. Qin Ning said helplessly. We didn't pay attention to that. We spent the whole day shopping, Huamin suddenly realized. Auntie, is that why you're dressed so beautifully for Uncle Tang's birthday party? Pudding chuckled. Did you call your dad and tell him? Qin Chu was more worried about the situation in the States. Yeah, I told him. It's because of the weather. Dad will understand. Qin Ning nodded. That's weird. It's snowing so heavily all of a sudden. But it's a good thing. You can stay for 2 more days. Let's go in together. Huamin held Qin Ning's hand intimately and walked in. Tang Chuan was unusually low-key today. He only wore a dark blue slim-fit suit with 8-quarter sleeves and pants that were very fashionable. He looked good no matter how he dressed. It was almost 6 o'clock and the hotel's banquet hall was already crowded. Tang Chuan said that he wanted to keep a low profile this time. However, it still shocked the media and the entire aristocratic circle. Many members of the Tang family were present. Other than Tang Chuan's father and second uncle, his aunts and uncles as well as his cousins were all present. Tang Chuan was busy greeting some guests. He unintentionally turned his head and saw Qin Chu and the others. He immediately walked over to greet them. President Qin, Dr. Hua, welcome. Oh, the twins are so cute today, they're so beautiful. Tang Chuan squatted down and pinched Pudding and Little Bean's cheeks. Then she looked at Qin Ning with a smile. This dress suits you very well. It's amazing. Thank you. Qin Ning never liked to talk nonsense and maintained the Qin family's usual arrogant style. Everyone come in and take a seat. There will be a performance in a while, and then the dishes will be served at 8 o'clock. Lord Su, Master Wei and the others are all inside. Oh right, sister-in-law Xiaowei will be here soon. She drove to pick up Yun Chu. Tang Chuan smiled. Huamin nodded. Then the family walked inside, but Qin Ning was stopped by Tang Chuan. Hey, don't go yet. Ning Ning, I need your help. What? Qin Ning looked confused. Well, as you know, my English is still very good. There are a lot of foreign friends here today. Can you help me translate by my side, okay? After the birthday party, I'll definitely thank you, Tang Chuan said coquettishly. Do you think I'm uneducated? You studied abroad for 6 years. You stayed in the US for so long and you can't speak English. No one will believe you. So, you have to look at who you're lying to, okay? After all, you're a pig, but I'm not. Qin Ning looked at him with disdain. So, which little bastard told you about me studying abroad? Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning sadly. Chapter 2142. Do you think I'm stupid? I don't know how to check. Qin Ning rudely shook off his hand and walked away arrogantly. Tang Chuan slapped his forehead hard. It seemed like he had underestimated Qin Ning. It seemed that he would have to change to another move in a while. Qin Chu and the others were arranged to sit in the first row. When the twins saw Suyu, they immediately ran over to him. One on the left and one on the right, they sat on Suyu's thighs, almost riding on his neck. Handsome Su, did you miss me? Little Bean asked cutely. Of course. How much did you miss me? I missed you so much. I missed you so much, Suyu replied with a smile. Humph. I don't believe you. If you missed me so much, why didn't you call me or send me a WeChat message? You're so fake. Little Bean was unhappy. Before Little Bean could finish, Pudding put her arms around Suyu's neck and said coquettishly, Why did you come here first? You didn't even come to pick us up. Aren't you guys with Daddy and Mommy today? What do you think of this dress? Pudding pointed at the new dress they bought today. Pudding's dress was black and Little Bean's was white. One black and one white, it was simple yet elegant. It's great. Suyu gave her a thumbs up. What about my auntie's dress? Does it look good? Pudding purposely gave Suyu a hard time. Your auntie. When Pudding said this, he suddenly remembered that there was someone behind them. Huh. Didn't she come back today? Suyu was also confused. If he remembered correctly, Qin Ning said in the WeChat group that day that she couldn't come back and was coming back today. She didn't come back. The plane was delayed and the flight was cancelled. Little Bean explained. Oh, so you thought about it. So, does your auntie's dress look good? Pudding wouldn't let Suyu off the hook. It looks good. Suyu was still a little uncomfortable. Just then Qin Ning walked over. There was an empty seat next to Suyu and close to the twins. She sat down and greeted Suyu naturally. Hi. Hi. Suyu responded politely and then they stopped talking. When the opening dance was about to end, Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling rushed over. Jiang Xiaowei brought Wei Yunchu, but Zhu didn't bring Gao Buyun. What's going on? To's to the twins to do to come to the twins to the twins to the twins. Little to the twinses, Zhu, s to the twinses to the twins to see to the kids to the twins to see to the kids to the twins. Su have to be. When Huimin, Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling sat together, they had endless topics to talk about. On the other hand, Qin Chu and Wei Liao were obsessed with their phones. They lowered their heads and didn't say anything. Their phones controlled everything. Huimin thought the twins were joking when they said they wanted to sing a song. To his surprise, after the opening dance and the MC speech, the twins really went on stage. Pudding told Suyu her idea, and Suyu called the backstage staff to arrange for the twins to go on stage. There were at least 700 or 800 people present and all of them were reputable people. The twins walked on stage without any fear. Holding hands, they immediately caused a stir in the audience. Wow, whose kids are they? They're so cute. The twins. They look exactly the same. They're so beautiful. I think they're President Qin's daughters. Their genes are really strong. Are they going to perform? I'm looking forward to it. They're so cute. Everyone was talking about the twins. Tang Chuan finally had time to breathe. He sat down next to Suyu and glanced at Qin Ning. Are you hungry? Qin Ning shook her head and smiled. Are you cold? I'll get you a jacket, Tang Chuan asked again. No thank you, Qin Ning refused. Suyu finally couldn't stand it anymore and said, Young Master Tang, can't you just watch the show quietly? It's time for Pudding and Little Bean to perform. Can you show some respect to us twins? Chapter 2143. Who dares to disobey Lord Su? After hearing Suyu's words, Tang Chuan didn't dare to look at Qin Ning anymore. He turned his head and looked at the stage. Pudding and Little Bean stood in the middle of the stage with microphones in their hands. Hello everyone, we are the daughters of GK Corporation's president, Mr. Qin Chu and Ms. Huimin. My name is Qin Zhaozhao and I'm 3 years old. Hello everyone, my name is Qin Mumu and I'm 3 years old too. We are twins, the sisters introduced themselves in unison. The audience was immediately captivated by their cuteness. Warm applause immediately sounded. Huimin licked her lips and looked at the cute twins on the stage, radiating the aura of a mother. Qin Chu stopped playing with his phone and looked at the stage with a serious expression. His eyes were full of tenderness. Pudding said, Today is a special day. Little Bean said, Yes, it's the handsome Uncle Tang Chuan's birthday. Pudding said, We want to give him a special gift. Little Bean said, He'll love it for sure. After all, we put so much effort into it. When the sisters said this, the audience couldn't help but laugh. Qin Ning also covered her mouth and couldn't stop laughing. Pudding and Little Bean are so awesome. Suyu was so happy that it was as if the girls on the stage were his biological daughters. He couldn't wait to show them off to everyone. Tang Chuan was also captivated by their cuteness and kept clapping. Pudding said, On behalf of my daddy and mommy and on behalf of GK Corporation, we wish Uncle Tang Chuan a happy birthday. We also wish everyone here a happy family and all the best. Little Bean said, Music, let's go. A familiar melody came from behind them. It was a Cantonese song that was quite nostalgic. It was called Next Stop, Queen of Heaven. It was sung by a famous Hong Kong duo, the Pretty Sisters. Back in the day they were also very popular. What they didn't expect was that the 3-year-old twins would choose such a sentimental song. Many people in the audience who were born in the 70s, 80s and even the 90s couldn't help but sing along. Pudding was the first to open her mouth. The moment she opened it, everyone was stunned. It was simply the sound of nature. More importantly, the Cantonese pronunciation was extremely accurate and the melody was very stable. At this time Huimin was a little proud. He suddenly felt that the twins' piano and voice lessons were not in vain. Little Bean also sang very well. Her voice was softer than her sisters and each had their own characteristics. The atmosphere of the audience reached a climax as soon as the match started. This was something that even Tang Chuan did not expect. Qin Ning was so touched that she couldn't stop mumbling to herself. My 2 nieces are incredible. They've become spirits, they've become spirits. They're both Mike Hogs and can sing a lot of songs. Among them, they can sing Frozen's theme song in 9 languages. It's very good. Don't make a fuss about it. Suyu crossed her arms in front of her chest proudly. Oh my god, my daughter-in-law is amazing. She's going to enter the music industry in the future. Zhu Lingling exclaimed. Humin laughed. Now she's your daughter-in-law again. Didn't she say that she wanted to break off the engagement with us? No, we won't. We'll lose out if we break off the engagement. After all, we're marrying the daughters of the super rich. Even Gao Ran said that being a government official is too tiring. Wouldn't it be great if Buyin followed his father-in-law to run GK Corporation? Your Gao Ran sure is delusional. Mr. Qin said faintly. The two of us have always been the type to dream about things. It's not like you don't know that. Zhu Lingling laughed wildly. At this time, Humin secretly held Mr. Qin's hand. Then she asked him secretly, Mr. Qin, to be honest at this moment, do you feel proud of your excellent daughters? Chapter 2144. Qin Chu held Humin's hand tightly and warmly. Then he looked at her tenderly and said, of course. I want to thank Dr. Hua for giving birth to 2 beautiful and smart babies for me. I'm very grateful and satisfied. After hearing Mr. Qin's words, Humin couldn't help but lean her head on Mr. Qin's shoulder. Hey, someone's torturing us again. That's crazy, Zhu Lingling protested. Jiang Xiaowei immediately grabbed Wei Liao's hand and leaned on his shoulder as well. She smiled and said, thank goodness my husband was here. I didn't get tormented. You're so disloyal. Zhu Lingling scolded. Not far away, Su Yu and Qin Ning also looked over. Qin Ning suddenly remembered Su Yu's feelings for her sister-in-law. She deliberately said, my sister-in-law really loves my brother. Su Yu's eyes were slightly stung, but he still smiled and said, yeah, Qin Chu is very happy. When he said this, his expression was more of envy than jealousy. Actually, you'll have someone like that too as long as you're willing to let go of the past and start over. Qin Ning didn't know why, but she suddenly felt sorry for Su Yu. Maybe, but I'm happy with what I have now. After Su Yu said this, he turned his head and continued to watch the twins sing. He didn't look at Qin Chu and Humin anymore. Humin was immersed in her happiness. He had a daughter and a husband. She never dared to think that one day her life would be so perfect. She suddenly thought of a joke that went viral on her WeChat friend circle. She said, hey, did you guys hear? If she loved a man, she would give birth to a daughter for him so that when he was 60 years old, there would still be someone to hug his neck and act coquettishly, criticize him for being disobedient, buy him warm shoes, buy him good wine, light his cigarettes, and accompany him to watch the evening news. If you hate a man, then give birth to a son for him. Let your son slam the table and smash the cup when he's 60 years old and ask him for a house, a car, money, a wife. If you hate him too much, then just give birth to 2 sons. After Humin said this, Qin Ning burst out laughing. Sister-in-law, why are you so talented? Qin Ning said with a smile. I didn't say it. It's a joke. It's spreading like wildfire on WeChat. You're bullying us because we don't have a daughter. Mian, you're too much. Let me cry for a while. Jiang Xiaowei joked on purpose. Oh my, if my chief Gao heard this, he would probably cry himself to death in the toilet. Zhu Lingling didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then Mr. Qin looked at his wife calmly and said, honey, send it to me on WeChat. I want to post it on WeChat. Zhu Lingling, Jiang Xiaowei, Humin, Qin Ning, when it comes to torturing single people daily, my brother is the best. Humian, remember this. Don't give birth to a son in the future. If you do, I'll make fun of you. Zhu Lingling looked unconvinced. When I'm pregnant, this joke will be outdated. But I already have 2 daughters. So even if I have a son in the future, my daughters will still be around. There will still be someone to be our warm little jacket, one for each of us. Humin was so proud that he stuck out his tongue to spite the other 2. Jiang Xiaowei turned around and looked at Wei Liao lovingly. Honey, let's go home and have a daughter too, okay? Honey, what if it's still a son? Wei Liao said guiltily. Immediately everyone burst out laughing again. Just then someone shouted, Tang Chuan, your third uncle and aunt are here. Everyone immediately looked over. Qin Ning saw that Tang Chuan's face immediately darkened. Chapter 2145. Those who knew Tang Chuan well knew that his third uncle and third aunt were taboo for him. Ever since that woman became his third aunt, she moved to another city and almost never had the chance to see her again. He didn't expect that the two of them would come back on such a special day. "Do you want me to go with you?" Suyu was afraid that Tang Chuan wouldn't be able to hold it in, so he stood up to accompany him. Tang Chuan waved his hand. "No, Lord Su, I'm fine." Tang Chuan stood up to greet his so-called third uncle and third aunt. The twins finished their performance and walked off the stage. Qin Chu immediately stood up to hug his daughters. Huimin and Qin Chu held their children and doted on them. Qin Ning looked at Suyu curiously. "Tang Chuan's third aunt, is she a young woman?" "She's tall and looks like a model." "He's quite classy." "Yeah, that's her." Tang Chuan had told Suyu that he met Jin Ying at Chang'an Street with Qin Ning. So Suyu wasn't surprised at all. Is there something going on between her and Tang Chuan? That day, Qin Ning felt that Tang Chuan had almost lost control of his emotions when he saw that woman. Suyu was silent for 3 seconds and decided to tell her the truth. "Yes, that woman. She used to be the woman that Tang Chuan liked." How did she become his third aunt?" Qin Ning felt that it was extremely melodramatic. Suyu briefly explained the story. Qin Ning listened attentively. "That's what happened. From then on, Tang Chuan changed completely. He became frivolous and playful. Actually, this wasn't his nature. He was a very loyal person. Unfortunately, he met a woman who cheated on him. Life is unpredictable." Suyu sighed. Qin Ning sympathized with Tang Chuan. It turned out that in this world, there were women who were willing to abandon the people they liked for money and fame. To Tang Chuan, Jin Ying's appearance was torture. However, that woman didn't know her place and kept appearing in front of him. So there's a past like that. No wonder he's always so cheerful on the surface. It's to hide the pain in his heart. I understand now. "Thank you, Suyu." Qin Ning sincerely thanked Suyu. "You're welcome. Tang Chuan. He's not just playing around with you. Although it's not love at first sight, he definitely treats you with all his heart. After all, he's your brother and sister-in-law, so you don't have to worry about him hurting you." "I'm not worried. You guys are worrying too much." After Qin Ning accidentally found out about Tang Chuan's past, she suddenly felt pity for the man who was always so cheerful on the surface. Or maybe it was compassion. In short, such a devoted man was once so naive and innocent, but he was betrayed. That kind of sadness was self-evident. Qin Ning suddenly remembered something she read on the internet a long time ago. "I was once willing to blindfold my eyes and trust someone. Even if 10,000 arrows pierced through my heart, I would never regret it. But you must remember, after you hurt someone there is no forgiveness." Qin Ning felt that the pain that Jin Ying caused to Tang Chuan could be described as 10,000 arrows piercing through his heart. All these years he pretended to be happy and lived a life of luxury. But in reality his heart was even more empty, right? Qin Ning suddenly realized that in this world, there was someone more pitiful than herself. When Tang Chuan walked over, Tang Chuan's third uncle Tang Wenping and his wife Jin Ying walked over hand in hand. Third uncle was wearing a black suit. He had a big belly and very little hair on his head. Although he couldn't be described as fat, he had indeed reached the age where he didn't have good looks. Jin Ying was the exact opposite. She was about the same age as Tang Chuan, less than 30 years old. Chapter 2146. She was in her prime, wearing a light red embroidered cheongsam that accentuated her graceful figure. Her arms were adorned with white fox fur, showing off her noble status. Chuan. Happy birthday. His third uncle did feel guilty for taking the woman from his nephew. Therefore he had always felt guilty towards Tang Chuan and didn't dare to pick up Tang Chuan's father. Even if they had business dealings, they were just acquaintances. It was very awkward for them to no longer attend family gatherings. "Third uncle, why are you here?" Tang Chuan smiled faintly, looking calm and elegant. "I'm here for business. I heard that you're having a birthday party here, so I came. I always knew that you like Porsche sports cars. Although this Porsche model isn't the most expensive, it's the latest model. I hope you like it." His third uncle reached out and handed him the keys to the Porsche. Tang Chuan looked down and smiled. "It's okay, you're too kind. We're family, you don't have to be like this. I used to like Porsche very much, but I don't anymore. I've grown up and my tastes have changed a lot. You can keep the car for third aunt. I appreciate your kindness." After Tang Chuan finished speaking, he deliberately looked at Jin Ying and smiled. Jin Ying and third uncle looked at each other. They didn't expect Tang Chuan to reject them so quickly. Don't just stand here. Come, let's go in and sit. Tang Chuan made an inviting gesture and invited them in. At this time the performance was almost over and the banquet began. Because it was a Western-style buffet, the atmosphere was very good. All the guests were holding champagne or red wine and chatting with familiar friends. Third uncle also went to Tang Chuan's father's place to catch up with some family members. Tang Chuan was a little depressed. He held a glass of red wine and hid in a corner. In fact, after all these years he no longer resented third uncle. However, every time he saw Jin Ying, his heart was still in turmoil. It wasn't because he still loved her, but because when he saw her he would think of some old memories. No matter if it was good or bad, they all came rushing back to him. This made Tang Chuan very unhappy. Ah Chuan? Jin Ying appeared behind him out of nowhere. Tang Chuan turned around and smiled. Third aunt, what can I do for you? Ah Chuan, happy birthday. Jin Ying raised her glass and took a sip. Thank you, third auntie. I'll drink, you can do whatever you want. Tang Chuan raised his glass and downed it. Ah Chuan, your third uncle and I might be getting a divorce. Jin Ying's eyes were filled with sadness. Really? Congratulations. Tang Chuan smiled viciously. Perhaps Jin Ying didn't expect him to have such a reaction. Her eyes were a little shocked, and then they were immediately replaced by a faint sadness. I know you hate me. I brought this upon myself. Your third uncle has a mistress outside. He's tired of me. If I give him the child, he'll give me a large sum of money, Jin Ying said slowly. And then, Tang Chuan looked at her amused. And then, I don't know. I don't have any plans for the future. Maybe after I finish the paperwork, I'll go abroad and relax for a while. Ah Chuan, I haven't forgotten all these years. Before Jin Ying could finish, Qin Chu came in. He didn't know when Qin Ning came over, but she intimately held onto Tang Chuan's arm. Honey, why are you here? Qin Ning asked gently. Happiness came too suddenly. Tang Chuan was slightly surprised at first, but he quickly recovered and smiled. It's nothing. There are too many people here, so I came out to have some peace and quiet. Chapter 2147. Everyone's waiting for you to cut the cake. Qin Ning smiled coquettishly. Looking at Qin Ning's bright smile, Tang Chuan felt like all the gloominess in his heart had been swept away. Before Tang Chuan could say anything, Qin Ning turned her head and looked at Jin Ying. Hi, Auntie Qin, right? We meet again. Qin Ning smiled brightly. Hello, and you are? My name is Qin Ning, Tang Chuan's fiancée. We met yesterday. Qin Ning smiled brightly as she introduced herself. Fiancée? Jin Ning was obviously shocked. Yes, she's about to become my wife. Qin Ning took the opportunity to put her arm around Qin Ning's waist and show off. But your parents will agree. Jin Ying knew that Tang Chuan's family had always wanted a marriage alliance. Therefore, they shouldn't have found him a girl who didn't know anything and had no background. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Ning Ning is the sister of GK Corporation's president, Qin Chu. She's also an executive at GK's American headquarters. Her father is the CEO of GK's American headquarters. So she's from a prestigious family, no wonder. At this moment, jealousy flashed across Jin Ying's eyes. Auntie Qin, let's not talk about it anymore. We still have to cut the cake, so take it easy. Eat and drink well. After speaking, Qin Ning grabbed Tang Chuan's hand and ran away. Jin Ying and Qin Ning didn't have time to confess to Tang Chuan. She tightly gripped her wine glass. She had overestimated herself and thought that Tang Chuan still had her in his heart. She thought that she regretted it now and divorced his uncle Qin so that they could be together. Even if they weren't officially married, she could still be Tang Chuan's lover. Unfortunately, it seemed like there wasn't much hope. That girl named Qin Ning was too dazzling. She had an outstanding appearance, a powerful family, and the rarest thing was the warmth in Tang Chuan's eyes when he saw her. After Qin Ning pulled Tang Chuan far away, she immediately let go of his hand in disgust. Huh? A fiancé, what's wrong? Tang Chuan was in a good mood. Who's your fiancé? Qin Ning rolled her eyes. I wonder who said it just now, hee. I'm trying to save you, you know? Don't push your luck. Save me? Tang Chuan looked surprised. I know about what happened between you and Jin Ying. Qin Ning lowered her head and said slowly. Tang Chuan's expression changed at first, then he smiled deliberately. That matter. It happened a long time ago. Don't misunderstand. That woman is really just my third aunt now. Huh. I know. I just didn't want to see her bully you and be so arrogant. She clearly abandoned you, but she still pretended to be innocent and wronged. She's simply the Queen of Green Tea Bitches. Queen of Green Tea Bitches, that's a good title. She'll definitely like it. Tang Chuan smiled. Don't be so cheeky. Look at you, you usually look so domineering and manly. How could you just let them bully you? On a day like this, on your birthday, that bitch came to make things difficult for you. If I were you, I would have kicked them out. Qin Ning had a strong personality and couldn't accept that Tang Chuan's third uncle and third aunt came back to show off on a day like this. They didn't come back to show off. My third uncle's business hasn't been going well recently, so he took the opportunity to come back and suck up to my dad. According to that woman, she's going to divorce my third uncle, so she came back to find me. I don't know if she wants to confess her feelings or if she's regretting her past. But no matter what, it has nothing to do with me anymore. To me now, she's just a person living in a photo. After Qin Ning heard Tang Chuan's words, she burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? Tang Chuan was confused. Chapter 2148. She's still alive in the photo. She's not dead. You're really mean with your words. I'm telling the truth. She's already dead in my heart. Although I'm a playboy, I don't have the habit of sleeping with my third aunt. I don't have the strange disease of recycling scrap metal. Okay, I'm relieved to see that you're still in such a good mood. Qin Ning was about to leave. However, Tang Chuan stopped her. What? Cut the cake with me. Before Qin Ning could reply, Tang Chuan grabbed her hand. They walked into the middle of the crowd. There was a 7-layer cream cake there. It was light blue and looked very beautiful. There were a few low-class words written on it. Mr. Tang, happy birthday, forever 18. She didn't know which rich tycoon had ordered it. Mr. Tang, make a wish, someone shouted. No, my wish has already been granted. Then Tang Chuan held Qin Ning's hand and cut the cake with the knife. The crowd burst into thunderous applause. Then Tang Chuan grabbed a handful of cream and blew it on Qin Ning's face. She was caught off guard. Uncle Tang is looking for trouble. Little Bean covered her eyes and couldn't bear to look at her auntie. He's so cruel. Auntie won't let him off this time, Little Bean exclaimed. Wei Liao put his arm around Jiang Shaowei's waist and laughed. This kid is so good because he dares to challenge other people's bottom line. Su Yu crossed his arms and guessed, I bet 10,000 yuan that Qin Ning will kill him. Qin Chu, on the other hand, stood beside Hua Mian with a smile on his face. It was the first time he had seen Ning Ning get tricked. Tuan. Qin Ning was going crazy. This damn guy was biting the hand that fed him. She was being nice and gave him face in front of that woman. But now he was covering her face with cream cake. Was there any justice in this world? Honey, I'm here. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning with a smile. You. Qin Ning didn't wait for her to speak. Tang Chuan picked up her hand, smeared a handful of cream cake on it and then put it on his face. The onlookers immediately began to jeer. Oh, Mr. Tang is mighty and domineering. Uncle Tang is crazy. Pudding was also dumbfounded. What a waste of so much cream cake. If only I could eat it. Little Bean licked her lips. Please. The main point isn't the cream cake, okay? It's Uncle Tang and Auntie Tang. Look at their faces. Ouch, I can't bear to look at them. Pudding turned around and threw herself into her mommy's arms. Hua Min and Qin Chu were also speechless. Did Tang Chuan's parents really know that he loved to play? Now we're even. I have. Tang Chuan grabbed Qin Ning's hand and rubbed it on his face. At this moment, Qin Ning's heart had already broken down. Was there anyone more disgusting than this? At this time, the audience suddenly counted down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. After the count of 1, the lights in the hall suddenly dimmed. The entire hall was only lit by the deep-sea orchid lights, which was extremely romantic and romantic. The only beam of light was rainbow-colored. It circled around Tang Chuan and Qin Ning, looking extremely cool. Everyone was shocked. Looking at this scene, Su Yu smiled and said, Mr. Tang, did you prepare an Easter egg for us? As soon as he said this, Tang Chuan suddenly lowered his head, ignoring the cream on his face, and kissed Qin Ning on the lips. Then the audience went crazy. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.